Good morning. We're having issues with our outdoor Heatmaster SSG 10,000 boiler. I love this thing. This heats our off-grid house and hot water, and we burn about 3.5 to 4 quarts a year to heat the house and hot water. Yesterday the fire went out and I went, oh, the fire went out. I'll just restart it, hit the cold start button, which I'll show you is right here. Bam, so you hit the cold stop button and it starts letting more air in, so you get a good fire going. This thing burns firewood, but it uses gasification to burn super efficiently, and if the fire goes out and gets below a certain temperature, you got to restart it and it lets more air in. So it did that yesterday. I was like, okay, no big deal, I'll restart it, I'll hit that button, I'll let it go. And it did it for quite a while. No big deal. I don't think anything of it, because that is a process that happens all the time, especially when it warms up. If it's cold out and stays cold and you don't run out of wood, you don't have to do that. But I did that yesterday, so I was like, okay, no big deal. When I went to let the dogs out last night, it was still in that mode, and it was like 9:30 at night. I'm like, what? So I came out here, started looking around, and I opened up the back door here. This back door houses the fan to help blow everything out. It's got a damper motor for the high and then a damper motor for the low. This one was open, and it was open a lot more. And then this one is not really open that much. It's open a little bit. Let me shut this because it is pretty noisy with that fan running, because it's trying to heat up. So that top damper door was not open, and it should be to let air flow in. And right now it's saying it's really not open. So I got a little screwdriver in there and pried it open so we could get airflow, so we could get everything up to temp, and then we could have heat and hot water overnight. I got a hold of my dealer, Peter Smith, which he is awesome, this morning. And of course, this all happens on a weekend. So I got a hold of him this morning, talked with him. He said, take that damper off those 2 bolts and then shut your boiler off and then turn it back on, and that actuator should move. Most likely what happened is there's creosote stuck behind there and it won't let it move. He goes, if it makes a noise and it doesn't move, that actuator's broken, damperer, whatever you'd want to call it. So I took the 2 bolts off, thinking I was just gonna have to clean it, cycled it. No, you can hit click, 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 click. So I have a broken damper. Our dealer is about 3 hours away. Luckily, there is a new dealer in the area that just opened up, and I'm waiting to hear back from him to see if he has a damper in stock, because if not, we're gonna have to go for a longer road trip. It'd be nice to go for the short one. The Heatmaster SS outdoor boiler has been awesome. The part that's broken on it is made by Honeywell. It's not anything really to do with the Heatmaster. It's not a component that they made, but I really like that thing. We heat the house, like I said, all year round. We keep the house about 70, 72. It gets really cold up here. That boiler is oversized because we plan on building more over there and having this heat everything. So that's why we got a G10,000. We really would only need like a 2,000 or a 200 or a 300. So that's way oversized, but it does good. We don't use a lot of firewood. We keep it going all summer long, and we get our hot water from it. So I am waiting for a phone call to find out where I got to go for a road trip so we can get that fixed, get that repaired, and then we'll have heat. Luckily, it's still a little on the warmer side today, and we need heat, but if it's not working, it's okay. We can get it fixed today. If it was negative or in the zeros, it would not be fun. So I want to get this fixed today because it's supposed to get cold tonight and then for this coming week. I just got a phone call back. The new local dealer has one in stock. I want to thank him because it's a Sunday and he's going to meet me. So while we wait to meet up, I'm going to go run down to the workshop and grab some of the tools we're going to need, so that way everything is up here when we get back. That sun feels so good. I don't know if it's just me or not, but it always seems like stuff like this always happens at the worst timing, on a Sunday or on a late night. I am just glad that the dealer is willing to meet me on a Sunday so I can get the part. Big shout out to him, because they don't have to do that. So I want to get what I need. So right here. That, I'll grab this, and then that. I am excited to get the barn done, to get all the animals down there and start using it and be more organized. And I am also excited to get the barn done so we can start coming in here and get the workshop organized and start using it. The plan wasn't to build the barn this year. We want to do that this spring, but we talked to Ken last year about building the workshop, had that all lined up, and I said, oh, and I want to do a barn next spring. And he said, oh, I'm retiring this year. And that is why we built the barn and the workshop this year, because we enjoy working with Ken and his crew, and they are not doing it anymore. So we had to get that done. So we want to finish up the barn, then we can get back in the workshop, start getting that all put together. And then we have lots of projects to do in there. And it'll be nice to have the barn right there, to have all the animals in one place, be more organized, be more neat, and be able to raise more animals. So yeah, this is just the process of getting that going. And right now we're gonna stop that process so we can have heat and hot water. We need that this time of the year. It would not be good not having heat. So let's get these tools ran up, leave them up above, and then we can run out and go get the parts. Or the part, I should say. And I am gonna order a spare to have on hand, because if this breaks again, I don't wanna have to be running out like this. I wanna have what I need and then just replace the part, my spare part, when I can. The best part is this is a easy repair, or should be an easy repair. It should be like a 5-minute job. It's just having the part, which we don't have. So let's take a ride, go get it, and we can come back, fix it, and then we can have heat and unlimited hot water. Whew, it's breezy. All right, let's go for a road trip, get this part, and get the outdoor boiler fixed.
Use the right lane to take exit 38 toward Franconia and Sugar Hill.
All right, we got the part. Now we can head on back, get it installed, and get this boiler back up and running so we can have some good heat, because it's gonna be getting cold. So we need to change out this damper right here. So I'm gonna mark top on this. This actuator isn't spinning and letting this damper open, and this is what lets airflow into the firebox. And without that actuator spinning and turning and letting airflow in, we're not getting a good fire, and it's not getting the water up to high temp. So we need to take this off. We got 2 smaller screws here. Those should be 1/2 inch. And then we got some Torx bits we got to take off that one, and that should do it. We got a wire. So let me get this figured out and we'll go from there. Let's open up the new one and see where it comes in here. Directions. Not exactly sure what that is. Okay, so we got a cord. We're gonna have to undo that and then rewire it. One of the things we want to make sure is right here, this mode. Ours is set on 3. This one is set on 1. So while I am thinking of it, I'm gonna change that over right now. And the bottom one is set on 3. I'm not exactly 100% sure what they do. I just know we want them to be the same as what they were. So 2, 3. All right, perfect. Just to take out these bolts. Yep. then it's got plugs in it, so I can just use this. I don't get to replace the cord. I'm gonna mark this where it lines up with the center tooth. I don't know if that matters, but just in case it does. All right, so we're gonna loosen this. Shoo! I weren't expecting it to do that. Then we'll take our new one. The biggest reason I wanted to line that notch up with the tooth is this is a square socket end. So I wanted to make sure that this tooth is the same direction it was before. So let's shut that off. We'll take the new cover off, save that, put this one back in. All right, and then I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. There is a little bit of creosote on here, but I don't think that's why it broke, because the buildup on it is nothing. But while we have it apart, I'm gonna use a super fine wire brush. Just wanna clean that all back up. Got that all cleaned up, so now I can take the new one and our dish, which I marked that top so we know which way it opens. Stick that on like so. All right, let's turn that on. All right, let's turn the furnace back on and see what happens. So that came on. All right, now both those dampers are opening well, and you can feel airflow going through them. The damper was not open like that at all, and the bottom one was barely opening. So yeah, now we got a good fire going. So we got airflow going in there. We will keep an eye on that. Right now the water temperature is 150, high is 180. So keep an eye on this, make sure it stays running. But right now those dampers are working the way they're supposed to. The nice thing about doing all this is I'm learning more and more and more about how this works and what parts and pieces we need. So I like doing all the stuff myself, so if we have an issue, we know what to fix and how to fix it and how it works. So we're one step closer now. I'm gonna keep an eye on this and I'll get back to you and let you know how it's working. Well, the boiler is off, so it's either a good thing or a bad thing. Red light's not blinking, so we're not under temp, we're not over temp, and we're at 186 degrees. So that means we fixed it. It's been about a half hour. I don't know when it shut off, but it is off. The damper is closed. That one's closed. I can pick my tools up and put everything away. I'm gonna save that old part just because you never know. And I will definitely save the new cap that I didn't use, because if I used the new cap, I would have had to change out all the wires for the plug. So the other cap was still good, but we'll keep that just in case. I am gonna order another damper to have on hand, because that literally, it probably took me 10-15 minutes, but that's literally a 5-minute job after you've done it once. So I'll order one of these, have it on hand, so if we need it again, we have one, because that was the part that took the most time, was finding one, and it being a Sunday. So if it happens again on a Sunday, we'll have it. But perfect, I'm excited. The heat should be working now. Now that we have the outdoor wood boiler all fixed and we got the chicken coop main structure all built, we're gonna jump on and start building a storage bin slash workbench for over in this area. We ended up going on Wayfair and picked up some stainless steel tops that we're gonna make into a custom bench so we can have a nice place to put all of our, whether it's milk buckets when we're milking out here, whatever we need for a nice workbench. And then underneath it, we're gonna make drawers and bins for our feed, our big feed that we use a lot of. We have a different storage idea for that. So that's what we're gonna start working on now. These we found on Wayfair. They're stainless steel. We don't need stainless steel out here. It's really nice to have a nice solid surface to clean up easily. And they were a pretty good deal on Wayfair. So that's why we got those. So let's get that started and get this built. All right, so we got 2 tops, 56 inches long. We're gonna put them together and make one big long bench worktop area for out here. And then also we'll have bins and feed storage underneath, and we'll be able to store our herbs, all of our other supplements for the areas, all of our other supplements for the animals, and whatever else we need for out here. So that'll be nice to have a place for that. So we gotta get a bench built for it, for all the tops to sit on, and then we'll secure the tops together and to that, and then we're gonna make a nice looking bin with drawers and everything, and I'll show you how that's gonna work after. For now, we gotta figure out, or we gotta think about these. We're gonna be using these for our bigger storage. So the drawers are gotta fit this. I made a cut list of a bunch of things that I'm going to need, so hopefully I got it all figured out right, and it'll all work once I'm done. It should be good. If not, we'll make it work. So I'm gonna need 6. I'm gonna make the bottom feet out of pressure treated 2x4, so that way, sitting on the concrete, we don't gotta worry about it rotting. I'm gonna make a base first, and that's gonna be like the strong part of it, and then after that, we'll make it nice and purdy. This is just to make it rugged, strong, and then we'll purdy it up after. All right, I got all of our short pieces cut, so now I need to use the pocket hole jig machine and get some holes drilled. This thing's coming in really handy. I've been using it a lot on this build. Bam. We need to build our sides. And this is going to be the center support. Because it's going to be so long, I want to have a good center support at the same time. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. What did you do that for?
To make it interesting. I think I moved the screws.
Your workbench has a hole in it.
It sure does. All right, let's get the top bracing cut down. So this is gonna get cut to 107 inches. Is there one end better than the other? No. All right, so far we've been able to build this with leftover 2x4s, KD and pressure treated from what I had ordered to build the chicken coop. So that's pretty good. This is something I'm building all out of my head, so I'm trying to figure it out as we go.
So the only real person that knows, true person that knows what it's going to be like is Al. I have a kind of idea. You might kind of have an idea, but only Al knows, and he might not even actually.
I don't know 100% how it's going to be made. I got to figure it out as I go. A lot of our projects are that way. They're custom, so it's like, okay, this is what we want. This is how we want it to work, like the chicken coop. And it's like, now how do we get there? And you got to figure it out as you go. And we usually do. So that's always the fun part, is figuring it all out.
Now what are you doing?
Now we're gonna put our base together, kinda, and I'm using that to help make this stand up so we don't gotta balance it. Magic trick.
Oh.
Would you look at that? Shoo! It ain't perfect, but it'll keep it standing. Let me do the other side. All right, do it like that, and then do this, and that. So let's get some glue and get that one screwed in, and then the back one, and then we'll get this edge better.
I mean, it did move.
Yeah, but it didn't fall. It just wobbled. This will be our center support. All right, I'm gonna put one lower now, but not touching the ground. Let's kind of straighten that out and center it after. Do you see it yet? Do you see it?
Yeah.
This is the back.
Yeah.
And this will be the front. So that is the main bones of the structure. Then we still need to make it look nice and then have it functional. Time to take a ride to go get what we're gonna need to finish building this custom cabinet. All right, we made it to our first stop. Hopefully they have everything I think I'm gonna need. I could make changes as I go. You never know. I probably will. All right, I have a couple of different ideas on how to build these pull-out things. I needed casters was one of them. And just to get casters was gonna be more expensive than to get furniture dollies that have casters on them and bolts and everything. So if I got just the casters, I would have had to buy wood somewhere else. I would have had buy nuts, bolts. And those were cheaper than just buying casters. I don't get it, but that's what we're gonna use for one part. Let's go to the other. Let's go to Lowe's and pick up what else we're gonna need. Well, they had everything except for the adjustable feet that I'm looking for, but I was thinking I can make those out of those T-nuts that I have and just regular bolts. They don't even be plastic because they're just gonna be on a concrete floor anyways, so that'll save me a few bucks. All right, let's head on back to the homestead. I'll meet you there. We got all of our material. I got some pine, I got some plywood, I got some 2x4s, I got the dollies, so I have everything we need for the next step, but this is where we need to end this video. I'm gonna be going and doing the podcast with Jason from Solar Land and Ben from Modern Homesteaders. So I'm gonna unload the truck, and then go up, and we're gonna get that going. So if you guys wanna check out our podcast called Homestead Shop Talk, I'll link it down below. It's on YouTube and all the podcast platforms. Come on over, listen to us just chat and have fun. Thanks for coming along on our homesteading journey. You guys are a huge blessing to us in our homestead. Hope you guys are having sun where you are because the clouds are back here. I like the sun better, but we got a couple of days of this and then the sun's coming back. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you guys right back here in the next video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.